mom has made when I was growing up and kind of make it healthier and like my own version of it. So first I'm going to get a cutting board and canned artichokes. I have these whole artichoke hearts that I'm going to open, drain, and then chop. So it's actually artichoke Parmesan chicken, but I don't eat cheese. So I'm going to show you guys an option for that. And I mean, I've never tried it, so hopefully it turns out good. And I'm going to chop these up very, very, very thinly. I love artichokes though, like I could just sit here and eat them out of the can. And we're also going to go live in my Facebook group so they can learn how to make this quick and super easy meal too. And I'll tell you like what we're pairing it with and stuff. So you can do as thin or as thick of chunks that you want. Mine are kind of like medium sized. So good. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and set up my other camera really quickly and talk to it as well. So you'll want to go ahead hello. Oh, the lighting's kind of funky on here. There we go. Now I'm more normal. And there's something on my phone. There. Guys, today I'm going to show you how to make artichoke baked chicken. And I'm going to be using 4 pieces of chicken. I'll eat 2. Andy will eat 2. And so this recipe will make 4. I'm going to go into how I'm prepping it and then also how I'm tracking it, because I'm making it for 2 people. So you'll need a cup or a can of whole artichokes. A serving size of this is half a cup, and so since I'm making 4, we're just splitting the entire can. Next, you'll need some mayonnaise and a mixing bowl. And then this does call for Parmesan, but I am going to omit that and I'll add something else, which I will tell you what that is in just a moment. So I'm doing 1/4 of a cup of mayonnaise, and I will track that I do 2 tablespoons and that he does 2 tablespoons. He tracks his food too, so that's what I told him to track. So 1/4 a cup mayo. I don't use a special mayonnaise or anything. I literally just use Trader Joe's mayonnaise. It does taste different than normal mayonnaise, but it's not anything like grapeseed oil or anything. It's just regular mayonnaise. So if you don't like mayonnaise, this recipe is not for you. Okay. Now I'm gonna dump the artichokes in this bowl too. And then this recipe, it does call for Parmesan cheese. You can either use dairy-free Parmesan cheese, or I'll show you what I'm going to add. And I'll have to let you know whenever I taste it if it's good or not, because I've never tried it this way. But I'm going to add some nutritional yeast. And this will give it the cheese flavor. So a serving size is 1 tablespoon. I'm gonna put 2 in because we're both eating this. And I just logged 1 tablespoon, and he also just logged 1 tablespoon. So now I'm gonna mix this up. Okay, looks like this. It's literally just artichokes, mayonnaise, and nutritional yeast. This is what the nutritional yeast looks like. It's this yellow powder stuff, and I got it from Trader Joe's, and it's a vegan product, so I can eat it, and it has 0 fat, which I think is cool, because you know a lot of people, this is already a really high fat recipe, and so the fact that this doesn't have any fat in it, but it tastes like cheese, is a plus. And then it has 3 grams of protein and 2 carbs. So these are the ingredients we used: nutritional yeast, mayonnaise, and 1 can of artichoke hearts. You can get them pre-chopped, or that can just came in whole chunks. So how I tracked this is I tracked that I'm eating 2 pieces of chicken tonight, and then he's gonna eat 2 pieces of chicken. So the recipe typically calls for 1 whole can of artichokes. We're just splitting that. It normally calls for 4 pieces of chicken, it calls for 1/2 cup of mayonnaise and then 1/2 cup Parmesan cheese. Well, I don't eat cheese, so we're not doing that version. And also 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, which would equal 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise, doesn't fit into my macros today. So I just lowered the mayonnaise proportion to 2 tablespoons. I can fit 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise into my macros today. So that's kind of the cool thing about tracking macronutrients, is that even if there is a recipe or something that you love to eat or something, you can kind of tweak it and fit it into your macros, okay? And so then I'm going to show you, I'm going to put the chicken on a pan. We'll go over baking instructions, and then I'm also just going to go ahead and get our sides. We're just having green beans with this. I think we're going to do them roasted. That will be easiest. And so we'll do roasted green beans. And that's what we're having for dinner. Very light night. Somebody asked, have I been vegan long? I'm currently not vegan. I just don't eat dairy. So I go for lots of vegan products because that ensures that they don't have dairy. I have been vegan once before. Last year, February and March, I was vegan for 2 months straight. Didn't eat meat, didn't eat dairy. or anything that you're not supposed to eat. Fish, I was like completely strictly vegan for 2 months, but then became very deficient in vitamins, and basically the doctor recommended that I start incorporating meat again. And so I did. And the only reason I went vegan for 2 months is because I was doing it as a fitness challenge, and then just continued that on. But it wasn't because I don't like meat. I love meat. But yes, that's to answer your vegan question. So what we're going to do is get a pan. Two sheet pans. And some parchment paper. And then I have my chicken breasts over here. So I'm going to turn you so you can see. We'll be right here. And I'm not putting any oil on this. I don't think it needs any extra oil. That's kind of the point of parchment paper, so it doesn't stick. A knife. And I just thawed these chicken breasts in some more water. Sorry if you don't like seeing or touching raw meat, it's happening. Oh good, I was gonna say, I have dirty dishes in this other side of the sink, so you can't see them. Okay. Throw away your trash. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands because that freaks me out. And then all we're going to do is spread this mixture on top. And for baking instructions, you're going to bake at 350 for 20 minutes, and then use a little meat thermometer just to make sure that it's fully cooked through. But then once you do that, once it's cooked all the way through, turn it on to broil, and you have to watch it at this point because there's not really like a time limit. Everybody's ovens is different. So you're gonna broil the top, and it's just gonna make the artichokes crispy and give it kind of like a, like a little crisp. So I'm just gonna scoop out even proportions on each one. Trying to see which ones have the least amount of the stuff. There we go. So that is how you make artichoke chicken. I'll type up the instructions and place them in the caption of this video as well. you're just gonna bake at 350 for 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes until they're fully cooked, so at 160 degrees. And then broil the top, make them crispy, and you're good to go. And so now I'll turn you back this way and we'll get our green beans ready. Show you how I do that. So I use a food scale. Just gonna push this stuff to the front. And honestly chop on the same board because it's all going in the same place. So I like to buy these trimmed green beans. Trimmed and cleaned green beans. Just because sometimes there are still ends on there, but lots of times not. So I'm gonna switch my scale to grams. We're each gonna eat 170 grams of green beans. Sometimes it works better if you like put them in a bowl. That's 169. So I'm gonna set one set horizontal and one set vertically. And you can chop these in half if you want. But you don't have to. It's okay. Perfect, 169. Just the same. And so I'm going to use half a tablespoon of olive oil to put on both sets of green beans. Make sure they're coated, so you might need to massage the green beans in the olive oil. Okay, and tonight I'm going to use a little bit of garlic powder, and I'll show you this other seasoning that I'm going to use. Atar. I'm going to use this seasoning with it to make it more of a Greek green beans since we're doing artichokes. Okay, and you could do potatoes or rice or anything else with it. But that's what we're having, and I'll post the instructions in the video caption, and yeah, I hope the explanation of how I just rearranged that recipe to fit into my macros explained some. And so yeah, I'll post a picture of the final product tonight after I get home from work. And also, I'm making this so early, it's literally 4:58. I'm prepping everything. Andy's gonna cook it for me while I'm gone, and I'll be home at 8:30, and I'll eat dinner. So we're tag teaming it this week. Typically I cook all of the dinners, but this week we gotta switch things up because of work, which is fine. I love that. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you try this recipe, and if you do, let me know. Okay, let me wash my hands. And I'm going to make a flax muffin with you guys for the rest of this video. So, you will need some flaxseed. If you use whole flax seeds, you need a way to grind them up. Because you don't want to eat whole flax seeds. They are hard to digest. We're going to need some coconut oil. I like to put my coconut oil in first and then melt it. It only takes like 30 seconds to melt. So 1 teaspoon coconut oil. And then you'll need 1 egg. We're going to, that's trash, take our flaxseed. So this is milled flaxseed. Do 1/4 of a cup. Also going to add 1/2 cup raspberries, and you need 1/2 teaspoon baking powder. I'm doing the chocolate stevia drops. And then a little bit of almond extract. And then I'm going to stir that. I'll just use this butter knife. And then I'm going to add some raspberries to that. And then stir those into there. And then we're going to plop this back in the microwave for 1:30 minutes. gonna top it with some peanut butter, of course. I'm just doing 1.5 tablespoons because I already ate some earlier. Then I'm just going to go ahead and put the peanut butter on there, and we will dive in and enjoy. And you can also add some cinnamon to this. I like to add that on top. And then, lick all of your spoons. If you don't do that, you're crazy. And this is what it looks like. So I have my peanut butter on top, but then when I scoop down in there, it looks just like that. And there's some raspberries in there and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. If you try the recipe, let me know. Either the flax muffin or artichoke chicken. And I hope you have a good day.